Valenciz,
desde la isla fría, el combo.
¿dónde están las monas? Pelinegras, pelirrojas, tú a la chimbita, baby. Entramos, se siente la vibra, elegante, bien chimba. DJ, suelte la pista, es un palo, el golpe no avisa. Entramos, se siente la vibra, elegante, bien chimba. DJ, suelte la pista, pa' toda la lisa, Mona Lisa.
Voices Radio.
Yes, people, Voices Radio. Myself, D Kel. I'm here with Valenciz. I just clocked I didn't give my man the signal to start filming. We're all good, Dre. But yes, we are here, Voices Radio. Lovely to be here, man. Back again. Here with my first reoccurring guest, Valenciz. How we doing, bro?
Dímelo. Bien, parcero. Activo.
Nice, man. Nice to hear.
Thank you so much for bringing me back to the show. It's been about a year or something. So,
about a year.
Yeah, definitely, man. Thank you so much.
It had to be done, man. So the last time I had you on here, so this interview's a bit different because last time I had you on here, I had to give the whole backstory about how you started and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can check that out on Mixcloud. Feel free to check it out if you like what you hear and you want to get more of a background story. But I'm trying to pick up from when we left off. So
yeah.
Well, last time we spoke, you dropped Tres, which was your last project, and you made it in the midst of lockdown. We'll get into that process and why I believe that's one of the best projects to come out, not even just in Latin music, but just in music in general from the
Thank
UK.
you, bro. Appreciate it.
Just obviously, I know the ins and outs of it and whatnot, but. So, what you been up to, bro? Because, some people, it was a weird time. We just come out of COVID, but it was, semi coming out of COVID. It was still lurking in the air. They say that this year is the first year that's, everything's back to normal. If you look at festival numbers and gigs, everything seems to be back up to how it used to be, more or less.
Yeah.
So, from dropping Tres till now, what's happened? Have you took time out? Have you, because I can see, you did take some time out. What were the reasons for that? Were you just busy writing? Or was it you just needed time for yourself just to chill and live life?
Nah, well, definitely live life is always a good thing, but for real, after Tres was it was crazy because we dropped such a huge project during the pandemic, and then what happened was that we kind of done as much as we could with it, and it actually brought me a lot of great opportunities. I was ready to go and do big shows across Europe and stuff like that just from that project. So we got a lot of eyes on us with that project. But unfortunately, because of the pandemic, a lot of the shows couldn't happen. A lot of the things got shut down, and it kind of brought me down a bit, to be honest, if I'm going to be real, because we led up to that project big time. So, and I felt like I was putting in the work. The whole team was putting in the work throughout the pandemic, at least the beginning. But yeah, man, for real, that happened. I just felt like I needed to take a little break, kind of analyze not only the music, but analyze the whole way that we were going to do it again and how we could come back. And I just kind of needed a bit of a headspace.
I feel for most musicians, including myself and just most creative people, it was a very disheartening thing. In a lot of ways, a lot of us had to kind of start again and rebuild stuff. But you're always someone, obviously I know you personally, and I know you as a musician, and you've always kind of had that drive. What kind of kept you ticking though? Because I know, for example, a lot of bands in the scene that I kind of work in, they just stopped being a band, bro. Do you know what I mean? They might do something now, but they're not the same band. They've gone off on their own things. How did you manage to be you know what? I'm not going to do the music thing. I'm going to start a podcast. Do you know what I mean? Or I'm just going to get into something else now because it's
Don't get me wrong. I'm a creative mind. I've got so many ideas always running through my head. I've had many even entrepreneurial ideas come through. And the thing is, my mind never stops working. I'm always been a fan of music, since I can remember. Do you know what I mean? So music has always been a part of me, and I feel when I took a bit of time off, it just reminded me when I've done that in the past. When for example, I had the project with Flow Latino, and then that kind of stopped. So then I had to rebuild myself. So part of rebuilding has been a part of me. So I feel I don't look at it as a bad thing. I look at it what can I do next? How can I step sideways to go forward again? Do you know what I mean? I never look at it like a step backwards, because I feel everything I've done up till now has taught me and has made me stronger. It's made me better. Do you know what I mean? I've learned from things. So I feel when you're down or when you stop things or whatever you're feeling like that, the main thing you need to focus on is not let me quit this, because quitting is not a great mindset to have. Do you know what I mean? I feel it's how can I restart this? How can I actually shuffle my energy into another direction? And what I did, I literally just got in the studio, bro. So I've been in the studio for the past year, just producing, making new things, just literally doing other things as well, out of music, just kind of going on, even on a holiday, bro. I felt I hadn't taken time off for so long, and the pandemic got to me, so I was fam, I need to take a break, bro.
I think you touched on two things there that that made a lot of sense, really. Like, I think, firstly, saying that your past experiences, you obviously learnt from them and they help you deal with those kind of those obstacles that you have in present day. So, for example, you talked about flow and how that situation came to an end and you had to rebuild as yourself. Then lockdown happened, so it probably obviously affected all of us, but for you, it probably affects you in a way that's like, I've kind of been here before, so I know I know how to tackle this one. Then the other thing, like off air, we actually spoke about this the other day. How like I saw a thing on Instagram about how creative people also need to like just sit around and do nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Bro.
And it took me a long time to hear that, because I'm always that person that's like, I get frustrated that there's not enough time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's not enough time to do this and that, because I'm trying to do the band, I'm trying to do radio show, I'm trying to do little projects in the pipeline, I'm trying to live life as well. And I think sometimes it's like, I'm allowed to just watch TV and drink tea and do whatever, do you know what I mean? I'm allowed to just do nothing, do you know what I mean? And I think
just
as
be a
creative
normal,
people,
like, human being,
do you know what I mean? I
like,
think as a creative, it's important to always have that reminder, because mental health is a real thing and we got to look after ourselves, man. So one of the things I did see that you was active with when you was coming out of lockdown, you were doing a lot of kind of like freestyles on no one's songs, you know, you was doing the drill songs, you're doing some big UK songs, and one of the songs I'm going to play in a minute is your song London, which is a drill song. So obviously, like, I've always known you as a reggaetonero. I think listeners who know your music will always know you predominantly as a reggaetonero. Obviously, we look at your catalogue, you've done a lot of other music, you've done funky house, you've done some more dance house orientated tracks, but when I think like, if someone was to ask me, who's a UK Latin artist that does reggaeton, you know, I'm always going to say yourself. I feel like you represent that movement. So, like, why London? Why why do a freestyle called London, and why make it a drill song? Was it you were just getting inspired by what was happening in the UK charts and just the industry in general, or was it like someone sent you the beat and it was like, yeah, let me kill this?
No, you know what? It's actually like, I've always had like a feeling that my skill set runs deeper than just reggaeton, you know? Like, I feel like when I first started coming into the music scene, I was doing tracks in English, I was doing like UK type tracks, like even if you go far back and you know the catalogue, like tunes like we did like Hype Tino and stuff like that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, UK music's always been an influence in me, and so has the Latin music. Do you know
for
what I mean?
those who don't know, that was a grime song.
So like grime was always a part of me, and I feel like I've always had that London in me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know what it feels like to jump on tunes like that, and I feel like I miss that energy. Do you know what I mean? And like one day I just started writing, and I was like, well, I'm gonna call this one London, because this, like, I want it to represent like where I'm from, like where I've lived for the past, like, do you know what I mean? Like, many years since I've been here. So it's like, I'm thinking like, Latinos need to like big up where they're at, not only where they're from. Do you know what I mean? Because like, for example, I represent myself as a UK Latino. Do you know what I mean? Like, properly, because I know what it feels like to be like in the grime scene or in the drill scene. Do you know what I mean? I know that feeling.
Sorry
like,
to interrupt you, because like my last guest, Sash Shelly's, we kind of touched on this, and I said that in this current moment in time, I feel like there's something in the air that I think UK Latinos and British Latinos, we're embracing it more to represent that whole kind of UK thing. Because I kind of feel like back in the day, maybe, and again, it goes back to the thing, there's no blueprint, there's still no blueprint for us. But I feel like back in the days, like, we looked so much to the like Puerto Ricanos, and we looked at like more like US artists that, not that we would, I guess to an extent we were trying to mimic them, a bit like how UK man used to mimic US man. Like, do you think like now it's a thing where we're really embracing it, like or do you think like UK Latin artists need to do more to represent that kind of British Latino West? Because it is different. It's different than being like Chingano in LA or whatever they do, or in Miami or in New York. Like, we are different. We have our own flavors. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, like I've always felt like when I've gone to Colombia, like I'm never Colombian enough. Or when I go to when I'm in the UK and, you know, I'm in certain spaces, I don't feel like UK enough. Do you know what I mean? Because I've got that Latin flavor. So it's kind of weird. Like, it depends in the kind of room that I'm in, but I feel like I'm a bit like I could say like a chameleon, bro. I just blend in. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm a hybrid. That's literally what we are. So I'm representing that, and I feel like with a tune like London, I thought, why not? Like, I'm gonna do a drill tune in Spanish, and I can do it. So why not?
Definitely, man. And with that production, it is a very London sounding drill song, because obviously you got drill Chicago, you got drill New York, you got all these types of genres. So who produced it first and foremost?
So that one was just sent to me by someone. I can't even name them right now. For certain reasons. But
like that, mad.
The tune like literally like just rang in my ear, innit? And I was like, I got to melt this one, innit? So we got more projects coming up with this artist. So yeah, definitely.
Wicked, man. Well, this is Valenciz, London.
Hoy la quiero acá. No lo voy a negar, lo que hicimos ayer lo quería filmar. Lo que pase aquí no se va a contar. Se quería montar, pero no en el Benz. Mojadita pez, me miró al revés. Dijo you the best, me pidió otra vez. Le bajé el estrés. Como Kuduro me danza, enamorada de mi salsa. Vine y me fui como Batman. La destapé como Fanta. Esta noche le hago falta. Adicta al acento de London. What you telling me? Get it who got no PlayStation. La tengo en vivo, no babe station. Ooh, hook it up and she wants selfies. So don't know babe face, just keep it low key.
Yes, people, that was Valenciz, London, man. I think... Was that your latest release? Like, obviously, we're going to play the exclusive today. Well, the new one we're going to play today.
Yeah, you know what? Because obviously, I was working, like, on the stuff that I'm kind of about to bring out now. Back then, but I just felt like it was the right time. I just felt like I wasn't in a dark space, but I was just, like, in a space where I just felt like mad London. I was, like, just on that vibe. You know? I was just, like, rugged. I was just, like, fuck it, I'm going to drop this. Sorry, I couldn't swear, but yeah.
No, you can.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. But, yeah, I was, like, you know what? Like, I'm going to drop this because, like, I just called my bro and I was like, we got to shoot this like out in London, like, out and about. And I wanted it to be like real, like artistic, you know. I didn't want it to be like your typical freestyle.
Yeah, I think you captured that whole like the grittiness of London, but in an artistic way. I said this to you, the video is it's so simple, but the edit on it, the production.
Yeah, I edited it myself as well.
Yeah, it's
so
cold,
like,
bro.
you know
Like,
what I mean?
It's proper.
Like literally for the past like 5 music videos, I think like I've pretty much edited most of them, apart from Tres. Like the guys on Tres helped me out, like Joe and Alex and stuff. But yeah, like big up the team from Tres. Like Jalipsa was great on the styling. She was part of the video as well. Like man, like honestly, she's just like my parcera, bro. Like she's always there for me. Like me apoya mucho. So yeah, man.
I need to have on the show, man. Like a
100%.
like a manager special. But one of the things I was gonna say is that like throughout your career and more recent with the Tej project with London, with songs like Sola, like you've always had like a lot of like style in terms of the fashion that you wear, and they're not just like, oh yeah, you can dress good. Like you've got pieces that are like custom made. You know what I mean? They're tailored to you, so they're real. Like you're like, do you feel like the music for you and the fashion goes hand in hand? Do you feel like they're the same? They hold the same importance in a way. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you because it's not just, oh yeah, man's wearing a nice little trackie, like, and the YouTube comments like, where did he get that from? No, because you can't get your you can't get your thing. Do you know what I mean? It's an exclusive. No, like, I mean, it's custom made. Like
I've worked closely with like Jalipsa to like make even like those kind of custom pieces, and I've had other people involved as well in the process. But I feel like it just empowers me when I've got the right fashion on. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I can embody the person that I am. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like it tells the story of how I want, how I want to be seen. Do you know what I mean? It's like almost like this is my world and this is how I want to be seen in it. So like part of the fashion is part of that image. You know what I mean? It's almost like I want to be almost like creating like a world around myself, and I feel like that is part of it. Like, you know, custom pieces, like different kind of fashion, but still keeping it, you know, London, and still keeping the Latin touch,
like having those little references and pay homage almost.
Exactly, like that. All of that is meaningful to me, bro. So yeah, definitely. Like you're gonna see a lot more, like literally.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask. Do you see yourself
crazy fashion coming out, like just cool stuff. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like mellow, chilled, but I would say it's like you said, it's just paying homage, bro.
And is that an avenue that you'd like to follow more? So obviously, you're first and foremost, you're an artist, you're a musician, but doing the fashion thing, like we know that, you know, artists will sign they'll work with brands and do endorsement deals and sponsorship deals. Is that something that you want to do, or is it more of a case that actually, no, I want to make my own thing, my own brand, my own clothing?
The thing is, it's not one of those things that I sit there and think about that, but I feel like the right time, like I'm a person that feels energies, and I feel like when it's the right time and I've got the right energy, I'll put all my effort into making that happen. So I don't have like plans like, oh, I really want to do this. Like I thought about like, oh, it'd be cool to make my own trainers, or it'd be cool to like, you know, design my own line, but I haven't really put the energy into that fully. But I've done like, you know, we've done like a launch of merch that went down really well. So the merch that sold out, like, and it was just a vision that we had, like, and it happened like so quickly, but like I'm telling you, like when the energy's right, things just go well.
And not to get too much into it, sorry to cut you, but one of the points I wanted to make about the merch is like you was working with sustainable fabrics, right? Like it was all like you went out your way to do that as well. Because I remember, like you could have just got your thing printed, like, do you know what I mean, wherever, but you went out your way to really find a quality, sustainable material.
Everything, even down to the packaging, like it was like that meant a lot to me, because at the same time, it's like I want to be part of a bigger movement, you know, like how can we actually help the planet, because we're in a bad state, bro. So like part of my movement is how can we actually help to, like, you know, whether it's like growing trees, like, you know, that's future thinking. I'm thinking of like when my fan base is at a certain point, like am I gonna get people to, like, instead of paying like tickets for my show, like half of that can go to like planting a tree.
It's a real
you know what I mean?
thing.
Like
It's a real
real
thing.
things like that. Like I
think,
feel like we can do a
yeah.
lot more as artists, and like and I feel like I'm kind of headed in that direction, and I feel like maybe a lot more artists should have that mentality.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of
bands
bands that have actually stopped touring, or they're looking for more like. I don't know the maths, and this is turning real Greenpeace, but like say like Coldplay, they basically said they're not going to fly anymore. They're going to catch train and do the whole crossrail thing to get the places, because it's like less use and energy in that. But it's important, because I think a lot of people will just say, like, it's easy for you to post and say sustainable materials, but it's interesting to hear the reason behind that. Like, you actually care about it. Do you know what I mean? Because I'll be real, like sometimes when you're an independent artist, you're looking for the cheapest option to print merch and that. But the fact that you've gone out your way, because I know how it costs more to produce that kind of thing.
No, bro, like even
work.
like simple things, like I've got my own like keep cup sort of coffee thing, 'cause I love my coffee, so when I'm going to get a coffee, I'll use that. For my water, I've got like a bottle that's just glass. Do you know what I mean? So I don't want to use like straws and shit like that. I don't need to. Like, why? Like, just drink it properly.
Boy, Valenciz trying to save the planet and save the music industry.
Me, the movement is big, bro.
It's different out here.
But it's got to start somewhere, so yeah, man, for sure.
Okay, well, I was going to talk about your project Tres, but I'm going to get into this one now. This is Valenciz Adrenalina.
Sola adrenalina, mami, sola adrenalina pa' que siga perreando. Sola adrenalina, mami, sola adrenalina pa' que siga perreando. 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 Con el combo vacío.
Yes, people, Valenciz Adrenalina from the Tres EP. I haven't checked that project, check it out. I spoke about it a lot on my first show, so to get the real in-depth story, look back on it. But basically, it was a 3-track EP where Valenciz and his team, they done a visual for each song. But when I mean not just any visual, like it's very like, it's the most top tier thing I've seen. For it to be made in lockdown, you wouldn't believe it. It's an amazing quality.
In one like small room. Like,
in one small room. You cleared out the space that you live in.
Cleared out my sitting room.
And made it into a video studio. And I think people, and you even done like a live stream show of it. And I think people really need to like take it in, like, for an artist to be restricted in their capability in terms of going out and with, you know, you can't go out and just do a show, and you can't go out and just do a music video. People need to check that out, because I think it's one of those lessons that when people watch it, if there's a lot of people that might listen to this, and a lot of younger artists, or not even younger, just artists in general, that perhaps don't have the resources or the money to do certain things, but if you really are creative and you really think about and really plan things, you can really execute excellent ideas. And I think that is testament to that EP Tres.
Thank you, bro.
So I'm going to close that chapter, because I could talk about it all day. But moving on to now, we're moving on to your new project, which I believe is called Cuatro, which obviously is 4 in English for those who who are
that's
not
coming
speakers.
up. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's in the works right now. We literally been working on that for a little while, not too long, but we kind of got visuals as well planned for that. So yeah, man, it's been great, and the same team again backing me up. So big up my team, man. Big up everyone involved. Yeah, man, it's gonna be another one where it's like we're taking it to another level, hopefully. So I'm just hoping that everyone checks that out as well. When it does come out, I'll be announcing that soon. But yeah, big up SJ and everyone involved. Yeah, man, SJ is killing it with the beats as well. So
SJ is like your right hand producer, and and obviously when I speak to artists, like I always feel it's important to, when you find that producer who really knows your sound, knows how to cater to you, knows the vision. And I guess it's logical for you to carry on with him. One thing I was going to ask, because obviously you have this solid team that you've worked with for many years and that, and one thing I haven't seen from you, and it's not a criticism, it's not really an opinion really, it's just a question really, like, do you ever see yourself working with other producers or even other artists? Because that's one thing I think I haven't seen from you is your like collaborations. Obviously, we're going to get into the new single,
You'll be
which I say that.
You'll be surprised.
Your new single's obviously with an international producer and is a collaboration in its own right. But in terms of in general, in terms of your own projects, are we going to see like features? Are we going to or is it just going to be a solo dominated project?
No, I mean it's obviously we're kind of following up from Tres, which is kind of Cuatro now, so you know we're kind of moving in that direction as a solo project. But stemming off that project, we've had a lot of collaborations, we've had a lot of workings with other artists, other producers, and they may be more like singles, but it's still kind of stemmed off from that project. So like things that we thought we could use for that project kind of ended up being features.
Yeah. And
also like things that I wrote like during that time are now like parts of other songs like that I'm bringing out with other artists. So yeah, I feel like this is going to be the first time that I've actually got a bunch of features in 1 year. So I'm expecting a lot of probably different like opinions on the tracks, because they're like not just reggaeton, they're not just gonna be what you expect, but I feel like that's gonna cut a different side of Valenciz now. Do you know what I mean? You're gonna see like the versatility once again. So yeah, man, like I feel like the projects that are upcoming got good artists on it, got good like people working around the track. So more info obviously once it does
definitely
come out. I don't want to say too much right now, but we do have the newest feature, which is Mona Lisa, and that is with DJ Exile from Las Vegas. So once again, we're pushing the boundaries. Like I feel like this is a moment not just for me but for the Latin culture in the UK. Like we are so used to just like staying home and like being like, and it's good, like it's all good. Like I've been part of the scene for a while, and I feel like London has given me so much, but I do feel like there is more steps to take in order to like get to other places. And I feel like, you know, working with other artists, like you said, that's one of them. So right now we've got a single out called Mona Lisa, featuring DJ Exile. So yeah, man, he literally shouted me from Las Vegas, and he said, listen, I've got this project in mind. Here it is, let me know what you think. He left that with me. I came back and he was like, bro, that's it, like let's just mix and master this right away. We got to drop it like right now.
I hear that.
So it wasn't even like one of those tracks that I've had planned for a while. This was probably one of the newest ones that I've recorded.
Mad.
But I feel like when things happen, like I said again, when the energy's right, it's just time to go. Do you know what I mean? So, and I feel like with Exile, working with him has shown another side of me, because I'm like, normally I'm so protective, I'm so like let's hold back, let's like wait until it's right. But nah, this was just also, like let's go.
I guess it goes back to when we first at the beginning of the show, when you said, you know, you learn from your experiences. And even though I made that comment about, you know, haven't seen you work with the people, but I guess my next question was going to be, how have you found working with people? But I'm never going to ask that, because you was in a duo for such a long time, and in a dynamic of a DJ.
I'm fine, man. Like it's a good experience. I love it. I love sharing. Like I love kind of participating in people's stuff. So like, oh, what do you think of this? Like I'll give them my straight up opinion, or like give them un consejo or whatever, you know. So, and also like when people like kind of give me feedback, I'm like, you know what, you're right, because like
and that's what I was gonna say,
I feel like that's important to take the feedback in as well, not just like be a one-way road. So yeah, man, for sure. And like, it's definitely shown a different side to me, because I hadn't collabed for a very long time. I don't even to list off your CV, but obviously you've done a few things in the scene. Do you know what I mean? Like you would have one of the first, I guess, when you was in Flow and you know, open up for huge acts and really had a buzz about you. So I guess you get a lot of younger artists or people coming up to you for advice and opinions. But working with these new artists that you're working with, what have you learned from them? Because obviously music changes and dynamic changes. So it's like, you can be making music today and you know the vibe and you know what you're doing, but younger artists might offer something a bit different. So what would you say is one of the things, if anything, that you've learned from some of the newer artists that you've worked with? Not necessarily younger, but the newer artists. I feel like because right now I'm in a space where like I know my sound a bit more. Like I'm kind of solid in terms of like I know what I can sound good in and what I shouldn't. Do you know what I mean? Like jump on, just because of that experience. You know what I mean? But now it's like I said with the features. Even if I go a bit left towards like the sound that I'm trying to achieve, like I'm still like appreciative of that, because like they're taking me in a direction that I didn't think I was gonna go into. Like for example, this year.
Definitely.
So that for me already is a bit exciting, because I'm like, you know what, I know I'm versatile, but it's like they're now pushing me away from like being or sticking to that same road, which I know I can go into now. Do you see what I'm saying? So, and I feel like it's exciting. Different people have different vibes about them. I've learned a lot about kind of working with female like artists.
Yeah, because I guess when you started, there wasn't even that many females.
No.
Do you know what I mean? And that's not even, just because our scene's so young. So, but even if you go back even like 3 years really, or maybe 4 years, there wasn't that many females. Where now, I said it on the show so many times, like my inbox is filled with like UK Latinas sending me music, and I always like stick it on the mandem. Like the mandem needs to pattern up because I get so much music from women. Do you know what I mean? Like that are really, their work rate amazing and good quality music. Like I've had Sasheli's on here, I've had Gonzo on here, Sophie Castillo, like big up everyone. Like so, like I think it's a thing where it's nice to see that there's more of a balance and that kind of thing. But look, bro, I'm really trying to show the world your catalogue right now, and I want to premiere the new tune. But
go.
This song right here is one of my favourites, man. This is from the Tres EP. This is Valenciz, Palo.
Dale.
Me pide palo, 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 palo oscuro. Que la ponga contra el muro. Me pide palo, 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 palo oscuro. Reggaeton lo pide. Me arrebata, arrebata y me va a matar. Me arrebata, arrebata y me va a matar. Me arrebata, arrebata y me va a matar. Quiere controlar, dice que es normal.
Yeah, we're back on air, man. We were just talking off air how, and this is the reason why I big up this project so much. Like I was talking earlier, like people in the studio asking, I didn't know about this project. Like your music's good vibes, these are good quality music, and I think it's just testament exactly what I was saying, because you made it in lockdown. It's a beautiful project that you made in lockdown because what you
never
done.
Really got to play it
but
out.
You never got to perform, you never got to push for it. So definitely check out that project. Obviously, we're talking about Quattro, we're talking about the new EP, but also do check this project out because like, I think for listeners and fans of music, we appreciate our favourite artists, but I don't think some of us don't really understand like how much effort goes into the production of music, the visuals, the planning. Like it's a lot, man. Like, and we're all living lives as well. We all got we're all trying to do other stuff and all have other things in our life that we're busy with. But look, man, it's that time again. We're always on this show, man. Like I need a longer show, man. But so I'm gonna try and get into this one. So your new single, Mona Lisa, DJ XL.
Big up.
Obviously, you touched on it earlier. Like, how did you find that process? Because it's not the same as you being in the studio with someone. You're kind of transatlantic, saying things on the email and that. Like, how was that kind of way of working and Zoom calls and that kind of thing?
Nah, bro. So literally with Exile, like, obviously I was working with Jalipsa on this, and she was like, "Listen, like, we need to like kind of branch out. Like, there's really good people out there that you should connect with and stuff." And we were kind of like just vibesing, you know, like just chatting, and all of a sudden, like Exile message, like we had been connected for a little while. And then he just messaged me randomly like, "Yo, bro, I got this project in mind. Like, what do you think? Like, should we do something?" And I was like, "Bro, like, listen, like, let's do it, like, 100%." He sent me the track now, and I'm like, "Bro, this is fire. Give me a couple days." Literally, like within a day, I sent him the draft. He was like, "That's it. We got to pattern this track right now." I was like, "Bro, straight away like this," and he was like, "Yeah, like quickly, like we got to drop this." I was like, "All right, cool." Obviously, it was like I said, it wasn't even in my thinking to drop this quickly, innit? I thought like we'll wait, we'll get like a visual, we'll do like mad. Like I was like, nah, like let's just do it organically. Like at the same time, I've got so many tracks like coming up this year. Like I shouldn't be so precious. Like it's a good tune. It's gonna have longevity. Do you know what I mean? So this is what I feel like with tracks like these. Like, you know, they're gonna be hype for the crowd. It's all summer long, so like it's only the start of summer, bro. So
yeah, man.
In LA as well, it's summer all year round, pretty much. You know what I mean? So, and I feel like with in Las Vegas, so yeah, working with Exile was just pretty calm, man. And we just had the right energy. We got on a call. We got to know each other for like an hour, just banting, just chatting. And then later on, we just started talking about the music and stuff, things that we wanted to do and achieve together. And yeah, man, like I'm just super grateful with him because like, you know, for someone that's so far away to start looking into the UK Latino scene and just be like, you.
Well, this is one of the things I was going to say. Like, I always say this to people, especially like because I'm in a band and sometimes like I do shows and there might be bands before me where there's not a lot of people. I said this to someone that actually when I was at a festival the other day, and it's like you never know who's listening to your music. You never know. You never know. And then that's where the best opportunities come about because they're spontaneous.
100. Yeah, like when I got
you know what I mean?
I got booked to go like Czech Republic, like I never knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah, and even this kind of opportunity, like it's not like you knew about. He didn't know about you. You didn't know about him, but you just come across. You come
I feel
across
like
each other
every stage of the things that have happened to me like along my career, it's always been unplanned.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I've never sat there and be like, I need to do this because that's gonna happen. I feel like things just like start escalating, and it's just down to I feel like work gets rewarded. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, man.
And I think like people shouldn't forget that because people think, oh, he's lucky, like, or like, oh, he's got lucky now. He's got someone backing him from the States. Like, no, like this is not down to luck. Like, luck exists. Yeah, I get it, but At the same time,
yeah,
if you ain't put no work in, like if I hadn't dropped anything,
it's not gonna happen.
Like, do you know what I mean? No one's gonna message me saying, "Listen, let's work on this."
Well, I've actually got some words by the man himself. Obviously, he couldn't be here, so yeah, we spoke earlier, and this is what he had to say.
Gracias, thank you guys for having me on here. My name is DJ Exile from Las Vegas, and I'm working on this new track with Valenciz, and I discovered him in the pandemic. I think I was just looking for new music. Then I saw he was from the UK, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. Latinos are in the UK. But, you know, I found him through social media, and I believe that, you know, we're all connected through social media, obviously, with TikTok, Instagram, and he was making great music. Everything was professional, his videos and what he was doing. And I think it's unique. I told him from the jump to have a UK accent, you know, a British accent, and be Colombian at the same time. It's crazy to us here in the United States. So I discovered him through social media in the pandemic. He had everything. He had the whole package: the look, the music, who he is, and he's hardworking, and he hasn't failed to do that. So for sure, that's how I found out about him. So when we finally started working together, I told him, well, I'm a DJ out here in Las Vegas, and I throw a lot of Latin events, concerts, and I also tour around the nation. And I told him, from a DJ perspective, your music's amazing. Let's get into the club record. Let's get him with the club record first. You know, once you make your audience in the club, you can gain all that audience, and people are gonna start listening to you. You gotta get it. That's the way I see it. When a record is played in the club, like Ice Spice, for example, now everybody wants to go into Ice Spice or check her out, and they go to her Spotify because she has that one-hit single. So I told Valenciz, let's make a club record. And let's make it a little different. You know, reggaeton is everywhere. Let's do something a little bit more dembow / upbeat club record.
Yeah, man. Your boy XL, man. Thank you for sending that, man. And he actually said a lot of good stuff, man. But maybe on the recorder version. First of all, let me do this, man, because I haven't done it. And I'm gonna give Dre his flowers, man. He's in the mix filming. He's been here for the last few months, man. Your local lifestyle. I said that right. Your local lifestyle. Yeah, man. Big up them, man. Because I think let me get back to that. I'm not going to go too much off subject. But yeah, XL, man, he said a lot of nice things there when he spoke about that. But I just wanted to play that clip there. And I think he touched on such a good thing, actually, where I've always said this, and it's something that we need to work on in the UK, especially with reggaeton music and dembow music. It's dance music, it's club music. And like he just said there, when you test it in the club, that is testament if it's going to work or not. Yeah. If you look at the Atlanta scene in the US, I'm not saying I think they're good places or they're bad places, but them trap rappers will take their freshest record to the strip club. And if them girls are not dancing, they just take it home. They're like, nah, it's dead. Do you know what I mean? And that's how they decide whether that's going to be the new banger. Do you know what I mean? That's going to be the new one. So when he's talking about testing that music in the club, I think it's quite interesting because we haven't developed that culture here yet. Like a lot of the DJs, they haven't really pushed that UK music, like UK Latin music. I feel
like we should have like 10% of the music that gets played in every Latin night should be UK Latin bred. Do you know what I mean? Because we're all here. Like it's a circle. It's a circle. Life is a circle. Like. And so is the music industry. Like if we're making good music, which is up to standard now, like I would say like 5 years ago, maybe the mixing and mastering weren't there, or I don't know, maybe the lyrics weren't there or the beats weren't quite there. But I feel like now the talent that's coming up and the tunes that are being released are really high quality, and we got like DJs involved in projects, and do you know what I mean? So I feel like they're tastemakers already. So if they're approving it, you know, we should be pushing that music as a culture, as other Latinos in the scene, whether you're a DJ like yourself, you know, or a promoter, or if you're a radio host, like you should be playing these tunes because that's what they're being made for. They're not just being made for them to sit on Spotify. Do you know what I mean? Like they need to be played in clubs, and I feel like this is like a gentle reminder to all like the people that can touch the music and put it in the right places in the UK. Like just help everyone out. This is not about helping one individual like myself. I feel like we need to dedicate maybe 10 minutes or 10% of the night just to play a couple of tunes from the UK guys and girls. So I feel like that will make a big change in itself. Like if we do that for a year, can you imagine how the shows could be in a year's time? So I feel like the vision just needs to be like selfless and not like I don't like that person. It should be like the tune's good, let me just play it. I think I think in London and even in the UK, like when I had Mike Cadge on here and he was talking about the event that he works on, the Reggaeton Party, and how that's like
throughout the UK. He's taking reggaeton to these places,
Yeah.
people coming. So I think there's enough reggaeton events. There's enough DJ. It's not like we're stuck for events. There's a lot of events.
We're not stuck for events, bro. Because
So,
like, how can I have like people from Cambridge
Yeah,
calling me
yeah,
like, "Yo,
exactly.
come down, do a show"?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they're looking after the artist.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
definitely.
mean? They're looking after the artist. They're doing everything possible to make sure you are well looked after. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
and I
feel
think,
like that is important because it just makes everything step up that one more level. And if we all do it together, it's gonna equal to a lot more.
Yeah, and it will build more fan base, you know,
Yeah.
you know, it will build more fan base, like hearing a Valenciz tune and a Jolly tune and then a Dukas tune and then, you know, whoever, like, and DJs have that talent that they're blessed with, they can mix and blend it. And I think
Definitely.
I think sonically, for a person who's not in the music industry, if they hear a Bad Bunny tune, for example, or a J Balvin tune, and then they get a Valenciz a cappella and they're mixing it with the song, in that person's mind, it gives them that kind of belief that, oh yeah, my man's on the same level as him because we're getting played in the club with him, we're getting played at the same time slot as him, and that is so vital. That is so vital to building a fan base because
the perception,
like
yeah,
it's
for
the
sure.
perception, exactly. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. So it's exactly that kind of thing. But obviously we went off, not totally off track there. I mean, I think DJ X made an excellent point there about club, and it really hit home
Yeah,
for me.
and
'Cause
that's
it's
what
one
I
of them-
feel like. You know, we're kind of missing in the UK a bit. Like, I feel like it's great that you know, Exile has come to me from all the way from the States, and I feel maybe they've had like a culture there
Could
where
they see it?
where
Yeah.
Latinos are in the second, third kind of generation now, and it's very, or God knows how many. I don't know. Don't like quote me on that, but. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they understand that if we stick together, we grow together.
Yeah.
And I feel like we just need to start turning the knob a little bit. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and it's prominent, I guess, in the
Yeah.
scene there. You know, it's from Las Vegas. We've been to California together.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like
we
we've
have,
really
yeah.
seen how
Yeah, yeah.
Latinos are really out there. So, like, I think he probably sits from point of view, well, like reggaeton bangs, like local reggaeton bangs in my clubs, as well as the international acts. So I think that's what he's getting at, man. But
yeah.
look, without further ado, man, this is your brand new release, Valenciz, DJ XL, Mona Lisa.
Valenciz,
Desde la isla fría, el combo.
¿dónde están las monas? Pelinegras, pelirrojas, tú a la chimbita, baby. Entramos, se siente la vibra, elegante, bien chimba. DJ, suelte la pista, es un palo, el golpe no avisa. Entramos, se siente la vibra, elegante, bien chimba. DJ, suelte la pista, pa' toda la lisa, Mona, Mona Lisa. Pa' toda la lisa, Mona, Mona Lisa. Pose, 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 pose. Pa' toda la lisa, Mona, Mona Lisa. Estoy navegando como encima una ola. Hace rato mirándola. Yo quiero esa pelirroja, pelinegra o mona, que sea salvaje como amazona, que lo bata como batidora, perreándome sin mirar la hora. Si tiene novio y lo traiciona, ando entonado con el humo elevado, ando entonado con el humo elevado, ando entonado con el humo elevado. Pa' toda la lisa, Mona, Mona Lisa. Pose, 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 pose. Pa' toda la lisa,
Mona, Mona Lisa.
pose, 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 pose. Pa' toda la lisa, Mona, Mona Lisa. Ando entonado con el humo elevado. Tú puedes ser rosa, yo puedo ser rao. Dime si en público vamos privado. Ando entonado con el humo elevado. Como Anita que me lleve downtown. Mona Lisa, eso ya está robado. Es una lisa, eso ya está probado. Yo quiero esa cinturita, mami rica.
DJ, suelta la pista.
Pa' toda la lisa, Mona, Mona Lisa. Pose, 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 pose. Pa' toda la lisa, Mona, Mona Lisa. Pose, 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 pose. Pa' toda la lisa, Mona, Mona Lisa.
Yes, people, you heard it first. Valenciz, DJ XL, Mona Lisa. On the online version, because I've had Valenciz's manager just, you get me, mention something to me. On the online version, you're going to hear the full conversation that I had with DJ XL, and you can hear more about the track and how it came about. But obviously, it's that time again, man. I always say this, man. It's an hour-long show, especially with yourself, man. I think like we can put the world to right.
We could have done a 2 hour long.
Yeah,
still.
we could have done something nice, man. But
Listen, before we go, I know you're about to wrap up, but
Yeah,
I just
man.
want to shout out this Saturday. I'm gonna do a very special performance at the Latin festival. Not the Latin festival.
yeah, the Lambeth Country
The
Show.
Lambeth Country Show, and I'm gonna be on stage with Julie. So yeah, we got a special tune. So it's gonna be like shown to the crowd and exclusive. So make sure you're there, make sure you're present to represent the Latino culture. And yeah, see you guys there. So if you're not doing anything on Saturday, head over.
Yeah, and it's the first time they've got like a
3:30 p.m. by the way.
There you go, nice. And it's the first time they got their they got a Latin stage there, and I think they got multiple acts there and multiple mix and blend. They got a whole roost of artists that are going to perform there, man. So if you're down for Saturday, and also just in general, that festival's always been a vibe, man. So check it out. But we're gonna go out with this one, another one from the Tres EP. This is Valenciz, Teddy. Valenciz, any last words, sir?
No, thank you to everyone that locked in. I appreciate everyone. Thank you guys for supporting me. Like literally me coming back and dropping another single and then having so many like tracks to come forward with this whole year. Like I'm just excited for what's to come. Thank you for everyone that's been supporting me from day and the new ones that are coming to join me. El Combo, activo siempre. Los quiero mucho, Valenciz. Let's go.
Yes, myself, D Kel, Voices Radio, the Clubbers Vibes.
Big up
the
Voices.
Club of Vibes even.
Big up D Kel.
Come on. Big up Dre, your local lifestyle. Dark on next, but this is my last one.
De la Isla Fría.
Esa morena no quiere parar, entró bailando y no quiere frenar, pide botella y la busca fumar. Ella no es general, sigue mirando y se quiere pegar.